Today, we're going to dive into potential trade up, trade down options for the Arizona Cardinals in the 2024 NFL Draft. Like our general manager said, we're more than willing to trade up, trade down, or stay put. Let's dive into it.
I mean, we're going to make our fair share of calls too. I think last year we proved that we were more than willing to move up, to move back, to stay put and pick. So, I think those discussions will come a little bit further down the road.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack the like button on this video and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. We are on the verge of hopefully a lot of good news coming our way for the 2024 season with the Combine as well as the NFL free agency is about to open up here in mid-March. So very, very exciting time to be an Arizona Cardinal fan and making sure that you are obviously staying up to date with everything Arizona Cardinals. So definitely subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. All right, everybody, let's go and dive right into it. Let's talk about potential trade up, trade down options for the Arizona Cardinals. And like general manager Monti Ossenfort said, anything's on the table, right? We've seen it before in the 2023 season where we traded back to trade back up. So anything's on the table at this very moment. Now, when we're looking at the draft order 1, 2, and 3, I think it's going to be quarterback. Now, the wild card right now is going to be the New England Patriots. And I think everyone, for the most part, who is doing mock drafts has that number 1 overall spot getting Caleb Williams, whether it's the Chicago Bears or if they do decide to trade back. We're probably going to be living in a situation where that's going to probably be quarterback. Now, the wild card is going to be the New England Patriots. What are they going to do? Are they going to get Marvin Harrison Jr.? Are they going to get a quarterback that falls to them, right? We don't really 100% know. Now, I don't think the Arizona Cardinals are going to trade up in the 1, 2, or 3 spot. I don't really kind of see a need for that, for the Cardinals to do that. Now, I do see a scenario where the Cardinals do trade back out of the top 10, which I don't want to go out of the top 10 unless they do decide to trade back up. Just something similar that we did in the 2023 NFL Draft where we traded out to trade back up and still get our guy in Paris Johnson Jr. So I would be on board if the Cardinals did something like that, but I personally do not want to pick out of the top 10, right? Now, we heard Monti Ossenfort say this multiple times that we don't want to be picking at the 4th overall spot ever again, right? But this is an opportunity to get a generational talented guy, whether it's going to be a tackle, a wide receiver, anybody that you see fit in terms of being a staple point, right, for the future of the Arizona Cardinals. So I really do not want to pick past the top 10 unless we do a trade back to trade back up type of situation. So let's take a look to see potential suitors for the Cardinals to trade back with. Now, if you look at the draft order right now, we got the LA Chargers. I don't really see them as a potential suitor to trade up with. They have a quarterback. I think they're kind of fine staying at 5, but the New York Giants are very intriguing. I've seen a lot of mock drafts from Giants fans out there saying that they actually want to move off of Daniel Jones. Now, obviously they just paid him, so it's going to be kind of hard to move off of that contract, but they're looking for a quarterback that could potentially be a development type of quarterback. So let's say, for example, Marvin Harrison Jr. isn't there at 4, but let's say, for example, Drake May falls. I feel like maybe a New York Giants fan base would potentially want to trade up to potentially get a Drake May, but that's just kind of up there, right? So the New York Giants may be a suitor. Now, the Tennessee Titans, I don't really see them do anything. I think they're going to stay pat with where they are at. The Atlanta Falcons are pretty intriguing there. They got so many weapons on the offensive side of the ball, but they don't have a quarterback to really make this offense run efficiently. So if a Drake May falls, or maybe even if a Jaden Daniels falls, maybe we could see the Atlanta Falcons potentially trade up if they don't go after a Justin Fields, right? I know there's some rumors out there saying that Justin Fields is destined to go to the Atlanta Falcons, but as of right now, it is not completely set in stone. So they are a potential suitor to trade back with for the Arizona Cardinals. And then after that, we do have the Chicago Bears, which I think they're cool with. They have the number 1 and they got the number 9. They are what we were supposed to be, right? We were supposed to have 2 top 10 picks and it just didn't work out that way. And then you got the New York Jets right after them at 10. I think the Jets are staying. I don't think they're going to really do anything. Now, there's some really intriguing teams just out of the top 10 that are very quarterback needy. You're talking about the Minnesota Vikings. They can potentially want to trade up for any quarterback, right? The whole Kirk Cousins situation, he's going to be going after a big payday. day, and I'm not sure if the Minnesota Vikings are going to want to do something like that. And you got the Denver Broncos that is going through that whole drama situation with Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. I just don't think it's going to end very well, and I think they are going to be in the market for a quarterback, whether it's through free agency or through the draft. So definitely a team to look out for. And then you got the Las Vegas Raiders as well, which is also another potential team that could very well go after a quarterback. Now, I truly do think that those three teams out of the top 10 are very, very intriguing for the Cardinals to potentially trade back with, whether it's the Minnesota Vikings or the Denver Broncos or even the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, I get it. There's going to be some people out there saying that Marvin Harrison Jr. is not there at 3. Go after Malik Neighbors, right? Or go after a Joe Alt. Now, there is a scenario where the Cardinals can maybe accomplish still getting a wide receiver if they did trade back with, let's say, for example, the Minnesota Vikings, the Denver Broncos, or even the Las Vegas Raiders, because we can potentially trade back up, whether it's going to be the Falcons, right? Let's say, for example, they get Justin Fields. Maybe we can trade back up with them, or maybe even the Tennessee Titans might be another suitor that might want to get some draft picks to accumulate and build through the draft, just kind of similar what Monti Ossenfort has done before. And let's be honest, I think Monti Ossenfort might have some connections within the Tennessee Titans organization still, so that might be a team that where if the Cardinals do trade back, let's say, for example, to the 11, 12, or 13th spot, we could potentially trade back up and still get a, let's say, for example, a Roma Dunze. Now, I get it. The Tennessee Titans are probably going to want to get a wide receiver. They're going through shambles right now because they ended up trading away A.J. Brown, I believe, a couple years back, and they still really haven't found that guy. Now, they do have DeAndre Hopkins, but he is aging, but he still is able to do it. But at the end of the day, I don't know. It's going to be one of those things where the Arizona Cardinals might have to gamble if they do decide to trade back. Like I said a little earlier, this whole situation just really depends on what happens in the NFL draft, right? Who falls to the Cardinals at the number 4th overall. We did hear some people out there saying that the New England Patriots are in talks with the potential idea of maybe trading out of that number 3 spot because they got a lot of holes, just like the Arizona Cardinals do. So, they might be able to trade back as well and accumulate more draft picks. Just something similar that the Arizona Cardinals did just this last year in the NFL draft. So there's a lot of potential suitors for the Cardinals to potentially trade back with. I think the most bang for your buck is probably going to be 11, 12, and 13 with the Vikings, the Broncos, or the Vegas Raiders. But you are going to be playing a gambling game there. Now, to me right now, I'll be fine with staying at 4 unless we know for sure that Marvin Harrison Jr. is not going to be there, because right now we're kind of living in a situation where we heard Monti Ossenfort saying anything's on the table, right? And we are maybe going to be fielding a lot of calls towards the draft and making calls as well per Monti Ossenfort. But right now I think I would stay at the 4th overall spot, and I would not move unless it's draft day. I just hope the Cardinals don't. If they do it, okay. I mean, I just do hope that we have a plan for the Cardinals to kind of really go forward, because we still need a wide receiver. We still need a cornerback. We still need offensive linemen. We still need edge. We have a lot of holes for the Arizona Cardinals, and it would be a shame to not get a generational talent in terms of a wide receiver or a tackle. So personally, I would stay at the 4th overall spot until draft day to really figure out who falls. But I think in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be obviously up to Monti Ossenfort and the Arizona Cardinals organization. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts here? Do you think the Cardinals will trade back in the NFL draft? Do you think they will stay pat and pick at the 4th overall spot? Let me know here in the chat below. I appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cards.